How many people do you have tweet notifications?
I've been meaning to go through and clean it out. Like, I've still got the Nikki Javala tweet notifications on.
Wow.
Well, at least you got the Commanders' attendance earlier this week.
If you need any scoops, just let me know.
That is a rough look out there in Ashburn, Virginia.
Yikes. About the complete opposite of in Inglewood, Colorado today.
Yeah, I don't like that it's Inglewood.
Would you rather call it Dove Valley?
Dove Valley's so
Or
dope.
Centennial, even.
Centennial. Inglewood is the weirdest city.
Yeah, where even is it?
It's everywhere.
I always think
it's everywhere.
of Inglewood, like where Snoop Dogg and all them
You
are
mean
from.
Inglewood?
Yes, Inglewood. Yes.
We
That's
listened
with
to
an
that
I.
song today.
Oh yeah, it
That's
is.
with an I.
We listened to that song today at Broncos.
DNVR Broncos live, coming to you from Studio X, where the X stands for
Come prepared.
X's.
Listen to
X's.
that.
X's.
X's.
X's
oh my
and
goodness.
O's.
As in EX.
Wow.
EX.
Great work there.
X's as in Peyton Manning at practice.
It's a real great Saturday pod start.
Yeah, that would have been really good if it wasn't just like super late.
Hey, that just shows you I'm clean off the top. Like I used to be a freestyle rapper.
A $99 super chat just came in.
Whoa. Are we sure it's American dollars?
Yeah,
It
exactly.
is American dollars.
American
We got one of
dollars?
those. It was like $200, and it was actually in yen or something. I think it's
Singapore,
like
yeah.
67 cents.
What did they say?
They didn't say anything. It's just a super chat from Gregory Vendeland.
Gregory, thank
Wow,
you.
thanks,
Definitely an accident.
Right. How do I undo this?
Contact YouTube support. They should be able to get you your money back.
Gregory, what a way to start off a Saturday pod.
Yeah, what a way.
Thank
Better
you.
than I guess my exes.
Yeah, by about a mile.
Today's pod stands for Gregory.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
The X stands for
Gregory.
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 So, I'm starting off the pod
Oh, boy.
with a question for you boys.
Okay.
We'll get around to what did Russ cook today, but this is more important today.
Okay.
Is Pat Surtain the best player on the Broncos right now?
Yeah.
Including Russell Wilson.
Yes, including Russell Wilson. Now, best player is different than most valuable.
Right? Totally.
And so, yes, without a doubt, in my mind. Not even an overreaction, in my opinion.
I will say Russell Wilson isn't the competition to me. It's Justin Simmons. Those two are 1 and 2.
Is that a huge problem?
No, I think that's actually pretty awesome. But
I think you need your quarterback to be the best player on your team.
Yeah, I do think.
Unless
how many
you have
many teams is that true
unless
for,
you have
though?
a transcendent talent like Pat Surtain, but if Russell Wilson's third, I don't think that's good.
Is Justin Simmons transcendent talent?
No.
I
He's just like an extremely good safety.
I agree.
He is the best at what he does of his generation. Best free safety of this probably decade. He is probably the best free safety.
So then is Justin Simmons better than Pat Surtain right now? It's okay if
I
you say that.
I would have said yes
You're
a week
wrong,
ago.
but-
After these last couple days, I think I'd go Surtain.
I think Pat Surtain is about to be the best corner in the league.
This year.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
Yep.
just as soon as it starts.
Yep.
Okay, new season, he's the best.
Yep.
That's like where I'm at with Pat Surtain. You just can't say that about Russell Wilson.
No.
And corner, depending on where you rank, it's in the top 4 most valuable positions.
Yeah.
So the fact that he is the most valuable, potentially the best player in the league at a very valuable position, whereas Russ, we put him right around 7, 5 to 7, or 5 to 8 maybe, is just not quite as good as him.
No.
Which is just crazy to say. I mean, we're talking about a second-year player, best player on the team. No one's giving that much of a fight against it.
No, and even the coaching staff that sometimes they like to diminish expectations. I asked the coaches today, do you think that Pat Surtain, are you surprised by Pat Surtain's play? This is his second training camp ever.
Gregory just tossed us another 50 piece.
No way.
Oh, that's so he can actually say something?
No, he didn't say anything.
Does he have auto post on?
just
In
like,
the morning
bro.
he's gonna wake up.
Wow.
You gotta lock your phone before you put it in your pocket.
This might just turn to the Gregory show if he keeps it up.
Oh yeah, this is definitely the Gregory show. Not the Randy Gregory show, but the Gregory. What's his last name?
I think it's Vendeland.
Vendeland show. Yeah.
Not to be confused with Vandalay.
Or
That's a Seinfeld
mandolin. reference.
If Mace was here, he would have got it.
Yeah, I did not get that. Instead, Mace just wants to fight me.
Oh. Wait. We're not letting this slide. Zach, If you had to fight someone in the media, who are you taking? Who could you take?
I'm going for. I'm not scared. I'm going for Tyler Columbus.
Oh my God. So I was about to tweet last night, and then I was like, Zach can fight his own battles.
Yep.
But I was going to tweet, anyone who wants to go after Zach has to come through me first, and Tyler's the only one who's going to succeed.
Yep, Tyler's definitely. Is he the most intimidating in terms of a physical presence media member? Because you also have some other athletes.
Orlando Franklin's around. Ryan Harris.
So much weight.
Yeah.
Ryan Harris is a good one.
Yeah. I think it is
Mark
Columbus.
Schlereth.
He's too old.
He's not quite as big.
I mean, he's still
definitely
like
buff.
doing all the
Yeah.
weight stuff.
I mean, when you get he's beating up
Shannon
anybody
Sharp
but
count?
Tyler Columbus.
Oh, if Shannon's in, then yeah.
What
Drop
about
the mic.
TD? If TD, I mean, he's not technically in the media now, but
Shannon, though.
yeah, well, Shannon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If Shannon Sharp counts, but in Denver media,
In Denver media,
I still go Columbus.
yeah, I mean, he's freaking a foot taller than me.
what
It's
about
a shame-
Matt McChesney count?
Oh. Does Derek Wolf count yet? He's
Not
not
yet.
in the media yet. He wants to be, though.
I will say we asked a media member about them being a part of their media outlet, and it didn't get shut down. That's for
It
sure.
did not. It did not. Stay tuned.
Okay.
How did we get there? Oh, right, Seinfeld. Greg, stop sending super chats. Just if you have a comment, because I know sometimes it's hard to get your comment with your super chat. It's kind of confusing. So just anything you send from here on out for the rest of the show, we'll read.
Yes,
Ryan,
we
you're
will
a terrible
read.
businessman. Terrible businessman.
I feel bad. Also, YouTube's taking a cut. Just Venmo us.
Yeah, add Henry
Do
Chisholm.
they take a cut?
Yeah.
I mean, of course they do, but wow.
Yep. A significant one.
Wow.
Not to discourage people from super chatting.
Yeah,
with
No,
Yeah.
no.
but Venmo at. No, I'm just
I
kidding.
think it's Zachary_Stevens.
Have you seen the you can put it on the Twitter tips? So you have like a tip jar on your Twitter account.
I thought you were talking about a whole different type of Twitter.
No, we can get there later. But yeah, it's like a tip jar. People just you just connect to your Cash App or Venmo or something.
Wow.
Exactly. And I
got the opportunity to have super followers.
Yep.
But anyone that have you seen just any person? If you're a super follower, there's a big banner anytime you respond to that person's tweet that says super follower, and those people just get bodied in the comments. Just the dick eating is crazy.
I don't think I could turn it on. I just don't think it's a move, right? Where it's give me
Right.
some money.
Yep.
But I'm also not totally saying that's never gonna happen because I get the temptation. It's a weird thing though.
Tips just in beers. Just buy me a beer.
Yeah. I wonder if you can turn that on through Twitter.
Buy me a beer. Fun.
Yeah.
All right. Pat
do.
Surtain,
You
best
do
player
the-
on the Broncos.
Yep. According to you and I, but not Henry.
Henry's he's getting there.
I'm there. How many teams actually have their quarterback as their best player though? Because it's Tom Brady. It's
Pat Mahomes.
Yep. At this point, better than Kelsey
Justin
for sure.
Herbert.
Yep.
Justin Herbert.
Yep.
Better, but again, not talking about positional value or anything.
Yeah. Better than who?
Joey Bosa.
Yeah. I think so.
Because even I think Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams last year would have been a conversation.
Joey Bosa, in the same way that I said Pat Surtain's number one, Russell Wilson's 6 or 7. Joey Bosa is probably number 5, conservatively. Pass rushers in the league.
Yeah.
What did he do last year? I feel like he's been kind of quiet for his standards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Stephon Diggs is better at what he does than what Josh Allen.
No way.
No.
So you're saying that would be you? Well, I think you're a little lower on Josh Allen than me, but to me, to me, Josh Allen's the second best quarterback in the league.
What do we have here, Kale?
Yeah, okay.
Let's
Let's go, Gregory.
Gregory's
Let's
been
go,
day drinking.
Gregory.
At least for his wallet, the amount keeps going down. So it's eventually just going to be consistent $1 or something.
It's probably just see how low he can go for us to still get hyped.
Well,
Or
I
before
mean,
his wife steps in and says,
Yeah.
what are we doing here?
I like to think Gregory's like a 3-year-old, a 6-year-old. You gotta be able to understand.
took
and just,
their parents'
yep,
iPad or something.
and just got connected.
Okay,
Gregory,
credit.
how old are you?
Seriously. If you're young, just keep sending it.
Yes. Or old. Medium.
Joey Bosa, not Gregory, had 7 forced fumbles last year,
Holy.
which is incredible, but only 10.5 sacks. So
Every time he got there, he got
I'm
the
taking
ball out.
Justin.
Okay.
Only 5 tackles for a loss. More forced fumbles than TFLs. That's kind of.
I just don't like. I think the Chargers have a lot of good players in Justin Herbert.
That's fair.
And Justin Herbert is
Derwin?
very good.
Wow, you keep softening up to this, which I appreciate, but you're doing it in a very quiet, smart way on your end. I see what you're doing.
I've never said. All I'm saying is he's being overrated, having accomplished nothing.
Mm-hmm.
He has accomplished nothing. I'll give you that.
Yeah, like people got after Kyler Murray saying he's accomplished nothing. At least he's made the playoffs.
Yeah, he has.
He has,
and has a bad little clause that was taken out of his contract.
I can't believe he got it out.
Yeah,
they had to, but at that point, it didn't really matter.
I don't think they had to do anything.
Because
the damage was done.
Yep. The narrative is there.
Also, I guess I owe an apology. Like I screwed up a little bit.
No.
I said like whoever leaked this has to get fired, and then I saw an Ian Rappaport clip where he's like, as soon as it's done, it gets sent to the league office. I think you mentioned this, Henry, too. And he's like, and if you have good enough sources, and I have plenty, they'll just send you a copy of the contract, which, like, I think that's got to be illegal in some way.
Well, I'm pretty sure that, like, every team can see all of the contracts. Mm-hmm. So it's just like anybody in the league has access.
It feels like that. Doesn't that, maybe that's like one of those things on TikTok that's like, what's something that's not illegal but feels illegal?
Right. Well, I mean, essentially, this just says don't have bad contracts.
Yeah.
You know? Because they're going to be made public. Yeah. I also heard that the person that leaked that, let's just say, can't get fired.
Oh.
Which doesn't make any sense. Yep.
Good work.
That makes sense.
So to round this out, though, the Raiders, obviously Derek Carr is not their best player. He may not even be in their top 3.
Devontae
Adams number 1.
I'd go Max Crosby in front of him.
I would go Darren Waller.
I would go Darren Waller for sure. Max Crosby, interesting. Do you put Chandler Jones in there?
Probably.
I probably don't right now, just because of his fall off after the first game last year. But I mean, he's in the conversation. Hunter Renfrow, you could say maybe in the conversation. I'm not putting him above Derek Carr though. But I mean, Raiders kind of interestingly in a similar position as the Broncos, where Derek Carr maybe 3. Maybe Derek Carr's a little further down on their list than Russell Wilson is on the Broncos.
Yeah, I feel better now. I feel like you're better off if your quarterback's your best player.
I mean, look at the Rams last year though. Matt Stafford was like their 5th best player.
Yeah. Look at the Bengals in that Super Bowl.
Jalen Ramsey.
That I think is more of a credit to their superstar talent though, because I think that is not like a usual team, but it is a good point, Kale.
Yeah.
But that is one of the best corners. I mean, Jalen Ramsey could turn into one of the best corners of all time, potentially be in that top 10. Von Miller, he's obviously up there. Aaron Donald is literally potentially the best defensive player that has ever played. And then Cooper Kupp just had one of the best wide receiving seasons ever.
Would Tyreek Hill be in front of Mahomes last year? Like, because again, you just have to think like Madden rating wise.
No, I don't think
like
so.
He's like a night. If you're giving those out, I think you go Hill over
who's better,
Mahomes.
Devontae or Tyreek Hill?
I go Devontae, then Hill, then probably like
Cooper
I don't
Kupp.
even know after that.
And
Kupp's a tough one.
Man.
Hey, Kale, can you do me a huge favor and grab my notepad from the tall circular table?
See,
out there?
this is the issue when you bring notepads. It's not just right at your disposal all the time.
I've never not had my phone.
We've
Which is at 8% battery.
every day. Every day we just find out another issue with the notepad. But you know what? You've already admitted it's the wrong decision, but it's your way, and I can appreciate your
just
way.
Feels
it's the
better.
old
it's
way.
about vibes.
Just wait until it rains.
Oh, I'll be sheltered, figuring out a way.
Okay.
If you're on the hill, you will not be sheltered, Brian. I can guarantee that.
I actually know some people. I found a little tent that they'll let me stand in.
Okay, I think I know who you know.
Yeah, I know people. Got my notes. We can start talking about camp now. Okay. So let's just start with Pat Surtain and why we're just oogling over him right now. And it's another day where now I believe he's been beat twice in camp. One of them actually happened today, and it just doesn't matter. The one that he got beat on today was Russell Wilson scrambling out of the pocket, Jerry Jeudy coming back to the ball. Russell Wilson throws an absolute missile. and it gets to Jeudy for like 10, 12 yards.
And Judy's got his toes right before the paint on the sideline, just gets it in, and Pat Surtain is right behind him.
And it's just like, that's like worth 10 points for Jeudy. It's like you beat Pat Surtain, you did the impossible.
Right.
Yep.
On top of that, though, you have a play on the left sideline on a free play where Russell Wilson's just throwing it up to court. Pat Surtain's closer to catching it than Cortland.
It's unbelievable. Like when the ball is thrown towards Surtain down those sidelines, the receiver doesn't have a chance.
Yeah.
There's just no way.
Yes.
Like if it's a downfield throw, there is no way.
And I think it was highlighted even more so on the next one down the right sideline when it was going to Tim Patrick this time, another guy that's taller than Pat Surtain. And Tim Patrick turns around to catch it, and Pat Surtain is literally just like
a punt returner. Right underneath the ball.
Yes, exactly. 100%. It's like he's just supposed to be there, like he's just peanut butter smeared on a cracker or something. And then he got his hands on the ball, and Tim Patrick did a good job of knocking it away.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I was going to say, Tim Patrick, I mean, anyone could have got to this ball. It was just a straight up 500 ball. And Pat Surtain ends up directly underneath the ball with Tim Patrick fighting to get back into the play.
And it's not working.
Yeah, because he just muscled him out of there.
Yep.
Tim Patrick, 6'5" Tim Patrick
Yeah.
is just getting pushed out of the way, in a totally clean way.
Yep.
Not in like a, defensive pass interference. It's just like they're jostling for position.
Yep.
And
Box
Pat
him out.
Surtain just boxes him out. Should have picked it, honestly. If he did, it just would have been another thing. But like Tim gets a hand on it and it kind of bobbles and falls out of play.
In my memory, he has that ball in his hands for like 3 seconds. Where it's just like, he's go all the way to the ground, and he's like on his ass before the ball actually comes out.
Yep.
But just kind of like juggling around. You think the whole time he's going to get it.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. I've never seen anything like it because I didn't cover Champ Bailey.
Right.
And back then you just like, all you know is Champ Bailey's amazing, and you're not like watching so closely because you're, whatever, 15 years old or however old we were back then. And now it's just like you're watching Pat Surtain, and to me, corner, other than quarterback, is the hardest position to play in football. And he makes it look so damn easy. Like Justin Simmons makes free safety look easy, but it's so instinctual, free safety. It's just like, where's the ball going? I got to get there as fast as I can. And with corner, it's like I don't know where this guy's going, and I have to stop him from going there and I'm not watching the ball most of the time, and I have to find it. And he makes that look so easy, and it just blows my mind.
In training camp, players and coaches know and can easily find out what plays are going to be running on both sides of the ball for a practice. And it looks like Pat Surtain knows that because it just seems like he knows exactly the route that's coming, but he's not cheating. He's not doing that. He's just that good. And everything you want from a cornerback, he has. I mean, you talk about the size, ideal size. That's why he's able to go up against Tim Patrick and Cortland Sutton and not make it look like he has a size disadvantage. He has the speed. He has the ability to play zone and man, and he has incredible vision.
Yeah. Totally. And like you talk about the size, it's unbelievable. Like, when's the last time there was a cornerback in Denver who was a starter who was that big? Like, I can't think of one in my lifetime. There's never been one. Like, Aqib is big, but he's not. He's skinnier than that, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, he is not that big.
Pat Surtain is 6'2", and to put it in comparison, he's nearly the exact same size as Justin Simmons.
Yep, when they stand next to
Simmons
each other.
safety.
And he has like a bigger neck than Justin Simmons.
He's truly built different.
Like, he is one of the bigger starting cornerbacks in the NFL. Like, there are not many bigger than him.
And he's got the speed, too.
And the speed and the quickness and everything. It's just unbelievable when you watch him. And I've said this before, but with him on one side, with Simmons over the top, like, it should not be a surprise that the Broncos have gotten nothing going downfield so far in camp.
The biggest concern when the Broncos drafted Pat Surtain, other than the quarterback stuff, let that go, was that has he already reached his ceiling? That's what some people said, because he was so clean in college. I remember Dre just saying, like, no one really talks about him because his tape is so boring.
Yep.
It's just him doing the right thing one time after another. And people thought, okay, well, is that what he tops out at? Well, no. I mean, he was awesome last year, and he has gone leaps and bounds ahead of where we saw him last year already, at least just what we're seeing in camp.
The other complaint was that he ran a 4.4. And then now in hindsight, it's like, bro, he ran a 4.4. Like, what do you want from the man? And it plays up, too.
Yeah, perspective of speed has gotten totally knocked out of whack.
That is insane.
Ooh.
4.4 used to be like peak.
Yeah.
Now we're seeing guys run like 4.25.
Again,
and
like,
we're
it's
that's what speed is. And
running
none
in-
of those guys ever do anything.
Running in underwear is one thing. Running in pads is totally different. When you're as big and as strong as Pat Surtain, should not be a surprise that in pads his speed plays up.
Yep.
Like compared to like a
Well, and he's not covering for, well, he did last year. He covered Tyreek Hill and covered Terry McLaurin, but like in practice, he's covering Cortland Sutton and Tim Patrick most of the time. It's just
you
it's
put
just
him
a
on
thing of
whoever you
beauty.
want.
Speaking of some exciting players, some news coming down
Yeah.
from the Broncos today. But
Saw
first,
you
I
guys
gotta
flinching.
tell you about our friends over at DraftKings
Wow. I was so
Sportsbook,
excited. Oh.
where if you bet on UFC 277, you get $100 in free bets in your account right away. All you have to do is place a bet on any fighter, win or lose. You get $100 in your account. So check them out over at DraftKings Sportsbook. Maybe you can bet on this new Broncos news as well over at DraftKings Sportsbook. But I know what I'm going to be getting on in is the NFL action that is coming to us very, very soon. And there's no better place than a DraftKings Sportsbook where they hand out profit boosts left and right for football, for so many sports. So check them out. Head to the App Store now. Download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code DNVR when you sign up to get up to $1,000 in a sign-up bonus or a free bet over at sign-up bonus over at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older, Colorado only. New customers only. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Also,
And
the,
back away.
the weekend is here. Get you some Breck Brews.
Breck Brew.
Palisade Peach Light. I've only got one more day in the weekend to do it.
Oh shit.
I'm going golfing tomorrow. That is going to be a perfect time to bust out the PPLs, as people are calling them. So can't wait to try that. Can't wait to have a strawberry sky Palisade Peach Light.
I was thinking of PSLs. Personal seat license.
yes.
Like, is that the same thing?
No, that's a pumpkin spice latte.
Only to that. The people who are into personal seat licenses and pumpkin spice lattes,
Not a
there's
lot of
almost
crossover.
no crossover.
What is personal seat license?
That's like, I don't know if they use that term anymore, but that's like college. If you buy like season tickets, that's like sometimes the technical term.
Okay,
Like
I
that's
see.
your seat,
You're like
and then you
buying
get the rights to the future or something. Yeah.
Gotcha. Anyways, Breckenridge Brewery. Check them out. Get you some today. Use the Breck Brew locator on their website, breckbrew.com, to get the closest to you.
And also DNVR.
That's
Yeah, I know. I was all ready for that last one. You guys know what we do, and if you're not reading the things we're writing, then you're making a big mistake. Zach already got his camp stuff up today. I'll have something else up later. I had a big Derek Wolfe thing. Definitely go back and read the Russell Wilson thing from the first day. There's a whole bunch of good content that, I mean, I'm a little bit biased because I wrote half of it, but go read it. It's fun stuff, and you can only do that if you're a member. Also, when we reopen the bar, there's all sorts of different specials. It helps you get in on golf tournaments and all those sorts of things. So make sure you're a member at DNVR, and we will not disappoint you.
We're going to try not to disappoint you. And the news that's coming out is the Broncos held a visit with inside linebacker Joe Schobert today. He's been a starter the past 6 seasons, and the Broncos brought him in today.
Is he the guy from the Browns that was like somewhat coveted a couple of years ago?
Yep. You're spot on. In 2017, that was his first year being a full-time starter, his second year in the league. He was a Pro Bowler, then had 2 more good seasons with the Browns. Then he was a free agent, has bounced around to 2 different teams the past 2 years, but has still been a starter. So he's been a starter for, I think, 5 or 6 straight years now, and was really good, then bounced around a little bit.
I actually don't understand this at all. We love Jonas Griffith. We love Josie Jewell. Alex Singleton is Alex Singleton. We know exactly what he is, and we kind of like it. And then today, when asked what players other than Justin Simmons and Pat Surtain have stood out on defense, the very first person mentioned by Idro Ivero is Justin Strnad. So what's the need here?
Here's the need. When we did this yesterday and we went through our 53-man roster prediction, we had 3 inside linebackers. Now, the depth at outside, there were reasons for it. It wasn't because the Broncos don't have talent, because I agree Justin Strnad had a great day today and is standing out for the coaches, absolutely. But there's not that 4th guy that you have to keep on the roster. Now, the Broncos are probably seeing, is Joe Schobert a guy that would be that 4th guy that you have to keep on the roster?
And also concerning that he's available right now.
No doubt about it.
Yeah. Also, I mean, Strnad had a good day, but they scheduled the tryout before today. So did that big day potentially factor into a decision if you don't see Joe Schobert?
Would one
you
day
never know.
Would one day change a decision whether to sign a 5 straight year starter?
I doubt it. The thing is, they do similar things though. Like Joe Schobert's a cover guy, and so like when you have a Josie Jewell, it's at the very least good competition for Jonas Griffith. We're still kind of figuring out what exactly his strengths are. Like you would think he'd be good in coverage just because he's fast,
athletic, yeah.
Exactly. But he is more of a downhill type of player. And so you bring in somebody like Joe Schobert, who, again, like you said, was fairly coveted a couple years ago.
What is interesting about Schobert is he's definitely the Josie Jewell position, especially at this point of his career. He's not going to be that fast all-around linebacker right now. And your backup in Alex Singleton, that's kind of what he is, too.
But Schobert is a little bit more on the coverage side than Josie.
I think now in his career, I think that's why he's bounced around a little bit.
Okay.
I will say, I Googled him. This is a story from last October. The Steelers acquired Joe Schobert for his coverage skills. He hasn't disappointed. There you go. Like, do we trust the Athletic?
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see if the Broncos think too. But, I mean, the thing is, if he can't cover, he probably doesn't help all that much.
Right.
If he can cover, sign me up.
Absolutely.
Maybe that's what it is they really like Jonas. And they're just like, not the coverage instincts aren't where we want them.
Or say, I mean, again, you hope for health, and we'll touch wood as we say something like this. But if you don't have Jonas, do you want Josie Jewell, Alex Singleton right there? Do you feel like that kind of limits you?
Definitely limits you.
Exactly. But you still have Sternad around, so we'll see. But did he ever make a Pro Bowl?
Keep him?
I don't know.
I'm reading an article that says last year 2 years ago the Steelers traded for him in hopes that he would give a quality starting linebacker they could depend on, and it says unfortunately that didn't prove to be the case. So he did struggle last year. It just says that he was too inconsistent in the pass and the run.
This is a little weird to me, honestly, just because it doesn't like my thought was on third downs if they want coverage in there, they'll just bring in Caden Stearns, or just whoever. So like you're not bringing in a coverage linebacker to play short, third downs.
No,
unless you wanted to play, you don't have to worry about the green dot anymore. That's on Justin. So unless you wanted to play him in the Josie Jewell role on third downs,
that's possible. Or you're playing the Chiefs. It's like we're not worried about tackling, so we'll do this. Maybe it's not quite so down related. Who knows? But he played his first 4 years with the Browns, signed a 5-year, $53 million deal with the Jaguars ahead of the 2020 season.
I remember we wanted him in free agency, and then we were like, oh, okay, not at that rate.
And guess how long he was on the Jags?
1 year.
1 year.
Yeah, if somebody doesn't do out the Jags, though, I don't hold that against them.
No, but then they go to Pittsburgh, where they're supposed to be able to know how to use guys, and he has a struggle year. And then they don't bring him back, and he's a free agent until July 30th. So, I think this is to be your fourth inside linebacker. So this is a very small deal you're looking at, and this is not a groundbreaking deal like it would have been 2 or 3 years ago if they would have signed him from the Browns.
If they're keeping 4, I'm pulling for Justin.
And Justin had the comment from Evero today was great.
Yep.
I was pretty blown away by that. Just for him to be the first name out of his mouth. Who else did he say?
He mentioned Deshaun Williams, who got massive praise from Nathaniel Hackett yesterday. I mean, it seems like every coaching staff loves him, so he's making the team. He also mentioned, I don't remember. I did tweet it out, so I'll look.
There you go.
Steelers saved $8 million by cutting him. Wow. That's enough to make you cut a lot of people.
That's enough to make you cut people, but then to not bring them back on a cheaper deal. Maybe he just said, maybe he
hold out for a contender.
Maybe he said what Ryan said to me the very first thing this morning. The way I start my day off, I'm getting on the highway, and I'm like so far from merging still. And I look over, I see Hank's white car, and the passenger seat, Ryan just flipping me the bird. I mean, it was perfect timing. They blow by me. Hank's going like 115 on the highway. Is going so. I see them get off at the exit, and being the vet, I still beat them to practice.
Yeah, well, because you have the parking pass. Because we're out in the boonies.
No. I was in the parking lot before you were.
You were 3 cars in front of us.
I beat you. despite
damn.
not speeding.
One of these days.
You had the parking pass.
I have the veteran
I was-
knowledge of
when
how
I
to
was-
get there.
When I was like the number one reporter on the beat, you were still getting a parking pass, just in a worse lot.
Yep, that's true. In a worse lot.
We gotta get this for Hank. We gotta
Hey,
get-
I agree. We'll ask.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but remember, there were 2 years where you and I were trekking it from the dirt lots.
Yep.
I know that track well.
Yep. I do too now. Now that I just sit
It's
on
also like it's
the
so
hill.
hot out there, and like we have media after, so you like kind of come over that ridge and you can see like the big field. It's just like, oh yeah, off in the distance there's my car, and it's just like you see
Yeah.
like the heat waves go on the ground. It's like just walking through the
Tumbleweed
desert.
goes by.
Exactly.
The other guy that was mentioned was Caden Stearns.
Oh, nice. Okay. Let's bring up the graphic. Let's play a little. What did Russ cook today?
Ooh, okay.
Should write it in your notes. Then
Oh.
you would be ready for
It's
this.
in the noggin. I'm ready. You want me to go first? I
Hank's
was going to
the
let
one.
Hank
Go
go
ahead.
first.
I'll
Yeah.
go first. I'm saying he cooked up a nice pot of red chili. Just like a standard chili. It's hearty. It's delicious. It's got some cheese, some sour cream. And the reason why, you know, what it is about making red chili, the worst part about it?
What's that?
Takes a long time. And why does that apply to Russ today? Because of his biggest plays needed time. And so he was buying time with his feet. There was a couple big plays where I'm like, okay, I thought he got out of there. You're like, no, that was a sack. But he was buying time with his feet. And then also needed some time. It took until the very last series of practice for the first touchdown, long touchdown to Montreal, Washington on the bomb there, 60 yards. So it was all about time today, just like a red chili, takes 6 or 7 hours.
Okay. Wow. I like that.
Thanks.
Hank?
I'll go with the chicken cordon bleu.
I like a good chicken cordon bleu.
Yeah, I just thought you'd be impressed.
Yeah,
I know that.
you were waiting for.
Yeah,
he was
I-
definitely waiting for your approval on that one.
Snarfs once in a while sneaks in a chicken cordon bleu sandwich.
Interesting. This is not that. You know how that works. Like you got like the cheese inside. That's like the ball to Montreal down the sideline where it's a touchdown, but it's also blown coverage. And it's like, yeah, 60-yard touchdown. Like it's good, but it's also, I mean, it's just cheese. Like it's not like it's like lobster stuffed or anything. You got the
Breading on the outside.
Yeah, the breading, and that one is the other big play.
Jeudy on the sidelines.
Yeah, no,
Jeudy on third down.
I
The
can't
other
remember.
big play. I mean,
Maybe I'm crazy. Well, just go with Jeudy. We'll go with Jeudy.
Saubert did have 3 catches today.
He did.
Yep.
But yeah, that's the Jeudy on the
machine.
sideline. We'll call that. And then you did so much with just like the underneath stuff, the Saubert stuff. That's like that nice piece of ham right there in the middle. Where
It's ham
you know,
and chicken, right?
yeah,
In
it's nice
chicken
and
cordon?
nice and thick. You know, it was a girth. It was a good meal that you got there.
Yeah, you guys are only focusing on the good, and that's why today Russ cooked a little shakshuka.
That's
Hey.
not
Now,
right.
I
do you
need
know
a
of
Google.
shakshuka?
Let me guess. You learned about this on your little trip.
This was on my last trip, I think, but I think I
Greece?
knew about it. Yeah. I think it's a Greek dish.
Okay.
Ish. So, Kale,
Sounds-
I feel like you would know shakshuka. No
Yeah.
shakshuka. Oh, wow. I thought everyone was going to know this. So essentially what it is, you kind of make your own marinara.
cultured.
You kind of exactly. Yeah. You kind of make your own marinara sauce. Throw some peppers, throw some onions in there. That's stewing, and then what you do is you crack eggs into it when it's in the pot, and the eggs kind of cook. So it's an interesting dish because it's like a
just eggs
tomato
marinara?
egg. Yeah, and then what you do is you kind of eat it with bread. So you put those things on like a piece of bread, and it's a hearty meal. It's good. It's not great, but Russ.
We haven't even talked about the pick six.
And that's
Wasn't
right.
his fault, though.
That's exactly where I'm going. So there's some good parts of shakshuka. I'm not the biggest egg guy. I'll eat eggs, but not the biggest egg guy.
Same way.
So
Wonder who the
with,
biggest egg guy is.
so with my shot, yeah, it's there are
Rock.
some.
I
there
bet
are
The
some.
Rock is
yeah,
one of
exactly.
the
Look at
biggest
the
egg
ripped
guys.
people.
Yeah.
And so when my fiance makes it, she makes 4 eggs. She gets 3 of them.
She makes it at home,
She does, yeah. And I get
and
one.
you said it's just okay. It's not even that good.
Does she know what you think?
So she takes 3 eggs. I take 1 egg, but then I get more of the marinara, and she makes sure to give me the onions. So if I'm getting the onions, that bite of onion and marinara on a piece of bread, that's good. And it's not mind blowing, but it's good. and it passes. It's a good dinner, and that's what Russ was for pretty much all day. He took some chances. He threw some eggs in there. Okay, didn't really hit, but it still got you the protein you needed by those deep balls. But then there's one egg that's just a little bit undercooked, and it misses the spot. And,
Wasn't his fault though.
Exactly.
Exactly,
It's not the shakshuka's fault. It's not the cooker's fault because you cook all the eggs at the same time.
Yeah.
But just one of them wasn't on a hot part.
Wow.
And that's what happened with the pick 6 today, which was a pick 6, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's impossible to tell with these things, but we're calling it a pick 6.
Yeah.
Ronald Darby is...
Nathaniel Hackett's the only person who got a hand on him.
Yeah, you're right. So that tells you. I'd love to see that in a game.
I know.
Oh god.
It'd be such a penalty and an ejection, but
probably a 2-game suspension at least.
yeah, probably. But so what happened was Ronald Darby's covering Cortland Sutton.
Yep.
Cortland Sutton slips on his break. Russ throws the ball with anticipation. Ronald Darby easily reads it, cuts on it, and he is off to the house.
Yep.
So I was standing near a former Broncos pass catcher during this time.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
And
We all were.
Yes. And
We were together.
we were all standing there the whole day.
I remember.
And he instantly said, "Wow, Cortland's been so disappointing." So my question is, when someone slips, are we blaming them or are we blaming the ground? Like, did he go into his cut too hard and that caused him to slip?
You have a responsibility to stay on your feet. Like, and sometimes things happen. Like, mistakes happen in football. It's like one drop where it's like, that's not good. Like, if he's constantly slipping, then obviously something's up, you know? But
Yeah.
when that's combined with some other things, it is easy to say, like, this is...
I've never slipped and felt like I had any role in it.
Yeah, we also aren't, like...
Paid
know,
to do
professional
that.
top
athletes.
athletes.
But it just
not cutting hard.
slipping feels like it's like the ultimate uncontrollable.
I have to think that's just blank pass catcher's name. Kind of that play just opened his eyes to, okay, so we were all disappointed by just a complete lack of Jerry Jeudy and Cortland Sutton day 1. Yesterday, they didn't practice. Day 2, Jerry Jeudy picked up a bit.
Cortland
Sutton
had that play at the end that Pat Surtain won.
Yeah, so Cortland didn't do anything day 2. Today, Cortland didn't do anything either. So really, I mean, Cortland's done nothing this camp.
Cortland had a couple catches. That's what you've been able to say every day.
We're talking
catches.
4 or 5 yard catches, 2 of them.
No, I'm even thinking back, like the one that keeps coming to mind for me is the first day, and it's Josh Johnson at quarterback. And I'm not sure why that was even happening, but it's like a little RPO. It's just like a little inside slant. It's like, there you go, like... You should be doing that.
He doesn't look special, and this is something we talked about at practice, talking about Pat Surtain. I don't know if anyone has caught a pass on Pat Surtain not named Jerry Jeudy.
They haven't.
And
Nope.
it's not
Just
like it
those
hasn't
2.
been tried. Today, at least 3 balls that we've talked about, 1 to Jeudy, 1 to Tim Patrick, 1 to Cortland Sutton. Jeudy was the only one to come up with a catch.
And what did the offensive coordinator say?
Justin Outen said, every day I go up to Pat Surtain and said, please, let us complete 1 pass. Just 1.
Hell of a quote. And that's exactly what Pat did today. He said, I'll give you 1.
Fine, 1.
Yeah, and it's going to be the most inconsequential
And I'm
one.
only giving it to a Bama boy.
After a 6-yard rollout on a comeback.
Yep.
Like, that's not... Like, that's the one you give up.
And that just begs the question, is Jerry Jeudy right now the Broncos' best wide receiver?
This is a crazy thing. You could ask every single person that's been to all 3 real days of camp, and you get a different answer from everyone.
Yeah.
Because you expect Cortland Sutton to be that. It hasn't looked like it. Jerry Jeudy has been inconsistent.
Yep.
But he has definitely the most big plays.
Yep.
And most, like, when you think of big catches at practice, you're thinking him and Eric Saubert.
Yeah, I was going to say, he and Jeudy, after today, probably edges Saubert out by 1 or 2 catches on camp.
No one is talking about Tim Patrick being a complete non-factor.
It's completely right. I mean, those 2 guys, Cortland Sutton and Tim Patrick, I guess Tim Patrick has even been more of a non-factor.
Maybe the thing is, like, we talk so much about using Cortland for jump balls, and it just can't do it now because he's up against Pat Surtain.
Right.
That's the thing. Like, Jerry Jeudy is the best right now because he's the best at getting away from Pat Surtain. But we probably should have assumed that coming into this anyway.
Yeah.
The great thing for the defense, and I think this is more a testament to the defense, not against the offense, is it's not like they're just picking on Ron Darby and having so much success doing that.
Oh, no.
No, Darby's playing great.
Yep.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's cool to watch that group work. And was it Pat who said, I think we can be a top 5 secondary?
Yep.
way underselling it.
That
Yeah.
is
Way
You
underselling
should
it.
be a top 5.
You better be a top 5
You
secondary.
better be.
You should say we can be the number 1 secondary in the NFL.
That's what I wanted my overreaction to be. Was top 5 is the floor.
Should be.
It's not crazy.
Best corner in the league, best safety in the league.
Again, when you have the best, that makes it so easy to fill out the rest. Like I said, like that just takes away so much of the field. Just those two, like those jobs to patch together the rest.
Yeah. It's
Like,
not
how
that-
can you
it's
not
that
do
hard.
that?
But it's not like you're having to do it Vic Fangio style 3 years ago, where you're pulling guys off the street
Yep.
in order to fill it. No. You have a $10 million corner in Ron Darby. You have a very good slot corner in Quan Williams, which we need to talk about him in 1 second. And then, sure, Kareem Jackson's getting paid $2.5 million. I think everyone thinks that he's way more valuable than that. Just for some reason, he just always gets his pay cut in half.
If you're rushing 4 and you have 7 in coverage, I could be one of those 7 in coverage. If you have Pat Surtain, Justin Simmons, and any group of NFL players,
Now we're getting crazy.
You'd be just fine. Let me just sit in the flat. It's like, don't come this way, or at least you ignore that I'm even out there. Like, let me roam and do nothing, and 6 guys could handle it with those 2.
The biggest thing is just, can you get there with 4?
That is the
And
big thing.
and that's going to be the question.
Get
with
to
this
send
team.
5 or 6 though.
And I wrote that in my notes. A sack for Draymond Jones today. You love to see that. Another sack for Jonas Griffith. I think they're starting. I'm just getting the vibe. They like him going forward, and they're not quite as comfortable with him going backward right now.
And if
because
they
they're bringing
use
him forward
right,
a lot.
and if they use him right, that's fantastic. DJ Jones was also in there as well.
Yep. DJ Jones did not get pancaked. Did you see this Twitter stir up?
Yeah, somebody, I'm not going to mention it, I'm sure it's who it is though, said that they tweeted that DJ Jones got pancaked.
Yes.
Yep.
And then he said, "Did you see it?" And I said, "I did not see it."
Yes.
He said nobody has seen this. Nobody else saw it. He said.
And DJ Jones disputes the claim.
Oh, did he dispute it on
Publicly,
Twitter?
yes.
Oh man, is the tweet still there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But eventually got to the point where he said, "I slipped." So he did go down. But, so.
Semantics. One person that went down in a bad way is K'Wan Williams. When Russell Wilson Russell Wilson responded to the pick six with a touchdown, about 60-yard touchdown
Next
of his
play.
own on the very next play to Montrell Washington. Montrell Washington was wide open, looked like busted coverage. It wasn't. K'Wan Williams, number 21, was just about 20 yards behind Montrell Washington, not because he got beat, but because he was going super slow. Yeah, exactly. He pulled up, immediately went to the trainers. Now he's having an MRI on his knee, according to Mike Kliss. So that is very scary news, especially we're talking about how shut down city this cornerback group is and how good they are as a starters and how much depth they have. And for this to happen on day 4 is a total bummer. We hope for the best.
I got to say this. I had a feeling about today.
Yeah.
Just because I'm seeing all these injuries pop up all over the NFL. And I was like, wow, the Broncos have been completely clean up to this point. And it just popped into my head like, it's probably only a matter of time.
Yeah,
That's just the way it works.
That's just the way football is. I'll go spin zone on this.
Okay.
Before, maybe like a couple plays before that injury happened, I wrote down as my dark horse of the day, Damari Mathis.
Yeah.
And he had a sick diving breakup. Was it an interception?
No,
near.
but
It
Should've been.
hit both of his hands, but just his force going down popped.
Great
up.
coverage, though. It's running the receiver out of bounds up the sideline.
Yep. Who is that wide receiver? He's the same one who yelled at the ref for not
Trey
counting.
Quinn,
No, is it?
84?
Okay.
Yeah.
Trey Quinn. That guy is funny.
Oh,
I like him.
yeah, that was so, and that would have been the play of the day.
Yes,
if
there's
it was close.
There's a play up the right sideline right in front of us.
Yeah.
And it's going to Seth Williams, who's in coverage.
I don't
Oh,
remember.
I can't remember either.
And they jump up for it. They're fighting for it. Comes down, almost intercepted.
Yep.
Dropped on the interception, hits Seth Williams' foot. He kicks it to himself, bobbles it, and catches it. But rightfully, the referee calls him out of bounds as like his left elbow is out of bounds.
Yeah.
Trey Quinn comes running over. He's like, "That's bullshit. You should be ashamed of yourself."
Yeah, that was so good. That was so good. That was another one that just like happens in slow motion. Because again, it was
Yeah,
like 4
that one
feet from
was.
us, and it's just like ball bounces. It's like that's going toward his foot. That's going towards his foot, and he kicks it up in the air and catches it.
Yep.
But yeah.
Yep. So yeah, Damari Mathis. stood out to me today for the first time. I know, Hank, you've been keeping a closer eye on him. It's hard.
good.
I will say this, just because someone stood out to me for the first time today does not mean they didn't have good practice.
Yep.
It's hard to keep track of all these guys. Like, you could be looking at one side of the field one day and realize, I didn't even notice that Michael Ojemudia played today or whatever. Like, a lot of times it's difficult. I'll be honest, I haven't even noticed Travis Fulgham on the field once this camp. So, like, I just caught a couple plays of him. He had that one standout. I started watching him a little bit after that. He looks comfortable.
Yep.
Definitely got stuff to learn still. And I think he could play a little more confidently as he gets it down. But at least you feel like you have a player who can play there. And you mentioned you might be able to just play Caden Stearns there if you need to.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like you have, at this point, still so many options. Now, hopefully, K'Wan Williams back, you're good to go. You're starting to be in a situation where if something else were to happen, then maybe you are running out of options. Yeah. But, I mean, if this means you bring in Ojemudia, then you throw Darby into the slot. Or you say...
Oh, no, Darby don't play the slot.
Oh, yeah. OJ to the slot?
You'd have to be.
I don't
Darby's
think so.
made it clear he's an outside dude.
Wow. I mean, Surtain, I'd rather have in there than OJ. Depending on the matchup, probably.
I think maybe in that point, and what you do is then Surtain just follows a guy. If there's a player that's the best on it, you just let him follow, and then that dictates where OJ goes.
Darby said he doesn't play inside.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. I don't want to throw him on the bus, but I'm pretty sure he's like, I'm an outside
like the contact. That's the only explanation. Doesn't
He's
like the
small.
contact.
Usually small guys do play on the inside.
He just runs that boundary. He's just running out there with whoever's out there.
It is nice having a free defender to your right the whole time.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. But then, I mean, so if OJ comes on, or you bring on Caden Stearns, or you bring on Damari Mathis, or PJ Locke, you could move KJ or Kareem Jackson down there if you wanted. So you do have some options still. Justin Simmons could play in the slot depending on
he's
the
done
matchup.
that before.
You do.
You
don't
want to do that.
No.
It's just 4 days into camp. You don't want to be already thinking about, how am I moving my defense around?
Yep.
Totally. You had an observation you wanted to share.
I had did I tell you the observation?
Yes.
The one about Garrett?
Yep, and I solved it.
Oh, okay. So Garrett Bowles wears a headband now under his helmet that says GB3.
You would expect GB72, right?
Yeah.
No. I solved this. I thought about it all day. Haven't thought about anything else since. Go Broncos.
Wait. Preface it with the Tim Tebow.
No.
Okay.
Go Broncos. God bless.
Okay.
Garrett Bowles.
Wow.
GB3. Of course, Tim
Yeah.
Tebow was GB2, Go Broncos and God bless. But he didn't have the luxury of having his initials be G. Go Broncos, God bless, Garrett Bowles.
I think it's because he loves his quarterback. So he's like, anything I have, I got to put 3 on it.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
Maybe he just got 3 brand to make him a custom
Oh,
headband.
man, probably. Although I did not, you got to think that there'd be a massive Russell symbol next to
Yeah,
it.
there
I don't
would
think
be.
Russ is just giving these out without the symbols.
That's true.
No.
It's true.
I had an observation from yesterday, too, that we didn't get to.
Oh, did you? Go ahead.
So you know how Greg Dulcich is kind of like a good-looking guy?
Yeah, he's got beauty in his eyes.
That's actually funny that's where you go, because I figured out why that is. It's his eyelashes. Like, I had never been up that close with him before, and he's talking, I was like, those might be the longest eyelashes I've ever seen. And you look, and it's like, I know, like, obviously you don't play football on fake eyelashes, but, like, you see them, and you're
sure?
like,
Maybe
they
he's got
could be,
extensions.
like, there is a lot of people who would be very jealous of that.
Maybe that's why he gets them.
Maybe,
that point.
maybe, but yeah, it's like there's, you look at him and it's like the Aquaman vibe, something. Obviously, the hair plays a part. Those eyelashes are a big part too.
I've been complimented on my eyelashes a time or two.
My mom's complimented me on my eyelashes many times. Yeah.
All right, let me look through any other notes.
I have a quick observation. Ryan, you and I both asked the question different times to different people. You and I both upset one media member. And very visually, we upset this media member, and I'll leave it at that. Because I think we either asked the question this media member was going to ask, or we,
Jumped over them.
jumped over him or her. Don't let that throw you off.
Okay, all right. I'm pretty sure I know who you're talking about.
I'm sure you do.
Wait,
We're gonna
I don't
have
know.
to have
it could
a-
be a couple different people.
There's gonna be a
Okay.
post-show
Excited to talk about
gossip
this.
sesh.
I was the frustrated one for a little while. I did the old.
Once you do it 3 times, you're like, just F me right now.
Yeah.
I was literally waiting for Pat. I was like, Pat just might help me out here. I'd be like, last one, RK.
Yeah,
Yeah, that asking questions in those things is a real pain.
it
sometimes.
is. That's a
There's
much
a
bigger
strategy
battle
to
than
it.
Boulder.
What I always do if I can't get it in is wait
Oh.
wait for the eyes to come over to your side so they're answering someone else's question, and then don't give them a chance to look back.
Yeah.
So then you can get the eye contact, because once you get the eye contact in with the person on the podium, it's your question.
And you know what I do? I power through. If it's me and someone else asking a question,
Never
I
back down.
I've done it twice this week so far when there's been like 6 words that both
love
of us
that.
have said. You power through.
I love that. Don't let them. You got to set a standard,
Yep,
right?
exactly.
One time, my stepdad told me, like, I was going to a new school. He's like, first day of school, you got to beat the shit out of someone.
Did you?
No.
Did you pick on the Zac Stevens of the school?
Wow.
He's like, you just got to go pick someone and fight them. And just punch them in the mouth. And no one will ever mess with you again. And I was like, I think I'll just be nice to everyone.
That feels like an 80s thing.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
It's not like there's just
Right,
like
right.
fights in schools all the time anymore.
Yeah.
Yep. It's like, got to earn respect day one.
Right.
Like, no,
right.
this
It's
isn't
like,
prison.
I was like, yeah, I'll just go be nice to everyone. It worked for me.
And it worked.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Speaking of being good from day one, our friends over at Green Mountain Dental have been great
Wow.
since day one. And if you schedule a cleaning, x-ray, and exam, they'll hook you up with a free Sonicare toothbrush. They're part of our DNVR family, so make them part of your family as well. You got to go to a dentist. Might as well go somewhere that's part of us, that's close to downtown, and that also talks Colorado sports. They love Colorado sports. They're talking about the Broncos right now, so check them out. Schedule that cleaning, x-ray, and exam, and get a free Sonicare toothbrush.
Love it. That's all we got, right?
That's it.
Oh, okay. I thought we
right,
were going to
well-
have a stare down.
Oh gosh, I tried to go to thednvr.com, but I went to thednvr.con.
Is that a scary sight?
I don't
We
know.
do have some super chats.
Ooh, what did those say?
Let me guess.
Gregory came through.
Greg left an
Gregory.
actual comment. You guys are hilarious to listen to. ... And yes, I'm older than 6 years old.
Damn it. I was wrong.
Our 7-year-old Gregory, thank you.
Yep.
And then coming in from Marvel Garrett, do you guys think our offense will be able to hold Oakland's defense? And by Oakland, I'm assuming he means Vegas.
I love that. I love that that's where his brain went, Oakland.
Do you think he meant flipped?
I don't know. It's weird for an offense to hold a defense.
Right.
Do you think
They could definitely hold them. It'll just
I
be a
said it
flag.
backwards. Do you think our defense will be able to hold Oakland's offense? I said it backwards. That's
I think
on
this
me.
defense can stop anyone.
Yep. That
So what
Pat
it-
Surtain, Devontae Adams battle is going to be insane. That might be the best one-on-one matchup we see all season.
Yeah.
He's gonna get.
yeah.
I'm just gonna tell you guys right now. He will get beat by Devontae Adams
Yes.
at some point.
because Devontae
wanna
Adams.
guess the stat line? Like 4 for 48?
Yeah, that feels right to me.
That's
That's-
a win for Pat.
That's a huge win for Pat. I'm going to say there's another game, though, where Devontae goes for 89 or something. Because they
If you
played
keep him under
twice.
100, you won.
Yeah,
Yes.
I agree. The issue here is going to be Darren Waller, especially because he's a guy that's built so much chemistry, and he's going to be a guy where everyone's going to give so much attention to their wide receivers, where he's going to be tough to beat.
Not if you have Joe Schobert.
Hey, not if you ask the Steelers.
Oh man, I don't know. You guys both got conflicting
we
reports.
did.
I think the Broncos will be good against them. Like, I don't think it's going to be a shutout, but I'd say in between the two games, give me a 24-point average.
I just love seeing all this interior pressure that Evero is sending.
Yeah.
Like when he sends those linebackers and they go through untouched, I'm just like, this is how you stop offenses. Like they think they're going to be able to just go through and like Derek Carr thinks he's going to just be able to sit on that whip route from Hunter Renfrow and like all of a sudden there's a linebacker hitting him.
But if you send that against Darren Waller and Hunter Renfrow, those guys running in behind, that's scary. But I mean, it's just a race at that point.
Man, though, if you said 24 points, that is not containing them. That's about playing average.
That's the
And,
expectation every game. 24 or less.
at the worst 24 if we're talking about this defense being really good. But so here's what I think. If this defense can
That's
hold
what I'm
the
saying.
AFC,
24 is the ceiling you can allow and expect to win.
yeah, yes. If the Denver Broncos hold the rest of the AFC West to 24 points a game, They'll do much better outside of the division, and then it'll be a really good defense. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
that's
for sure.
true.
And again, I've always said it. If you allow 24 or less on defense, and you lose, it was the offense's fault, in my opinion.
I think of the 3 other teams, the Chargers are the least scary offense. And again, it's a battle, but I think with Devontae Adams and Renfro, the Raiders go in front.
Totally. I mean, I completely agree, obviously. But at the same time, Justin Herbert can do things that Derek Carr couldn't dream of.
It's true.
You've really matured, Ryan. I'm proud of you, man. It's been a big week.
I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
Like that, like scramble around, throw like for like 8 seconds, throw a missile, 40 yards. Just something Derek Carr doesn't have in his bag.
Well, and to your point, Ryan, unless you had more. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No.
To your point, how has Pat Surtain been beat? How was he beat today? And not really beat, but scrambling. Yeah. And that, I think Pat Surtain could be the number 1 cornerback in the NFL. No cornerback can hold up to that type of movement. And that's what makes Russell Wilson so tough.
I'll never forget seeing Chris Harris. I talked to Chris Harris after a game maybe 50 times. The first time they played Mahomes. I guess technically it was the second time they played Mahomes on that Sunday or Monday night football game.
Yeah.
I've never seen someone look more tired. Like a true, sometimes you see the linemen, they're coming like super winded after a hot game. Chris Harris Jr. was a dead man after that because he was running around for so long, and you didn't really have the scouting report on Mahomes yet. So like you were a little caught off guard by the fact that he's just rolling around and scrambling and barely getting out of a sack. And those corners are tasked with like running around with Tyreek Hill. He was, I felt terrible for him, because they lost a heartbreaker and he was just like pale in the face from the workout he got. So yeah, there's nothing easy about that. By the way, didn't the Chiefs already lose one of their wide receivers like for the season or something?
In training camp?
I think so.
I don't know. I have not seen
I haven't
that.
seen it.
Justin Ross, maybe?
Oh, yeah. He's done.
Yep.
He is.
Yep.
All right, let's go to the comments. Right? Yes. One more super chat.
Ooh.
Coming in, sup boys, longtime fan, go Broncos. Simple.
Shout out Holden Jenkins.
I love you, Holden Jenkins.
Lucky Jenkins.
Hope that's not a nickname for someone
it's close.
this year. Oh, man. Do you like Dag? Said, what up, DNVR fam? It's been a minute. The bat signals for OGs were received, although my response is a little late. Bloof. Okay. You may not have heard from me, but I've been here the whole time. All love and gratitude for my DNVR fam. Much love, Dags. We love you, Dags.
Love you, Dags.
Yeah, Dags.
Bloof, Henry, since you made a face. TLDR, people always put at the end, which we were like, that makes no sense because you already had to read the whole thing. Let's go bottom line up front.
Yep.
Bloof.
I remember that now.
Yes.
That was
I
a
always
while
get
ago.
confused
Long
because I
time.
think it's supposed to be pronounced bluff. Ryan says bloof.
It's Bloof. I invented it. Coach Tobin says, put some respect on my name as an OG. I've been loyal and commenting since the beginning. What a great time to be a Broncos fan. We got a squad here, boys. It's so exciting to know that going into a season we can make a run. Haven't had that in a while. My question, why are there such low expectations on Randy Gregory? I understand the injury, but I believe he'll play 85% of the games and record 12 to 16 sacks. I mean, for him to play less than all the games and record more than double the amount of sacks he's ever recorded in his career I think that's you think we have low expectations. I think you have sky high expectations. But to answer your question, my expectations are low because he's not practicing, and I just don't believe in players who don't play in training camp.
You are betting on a prayer there, Coach Tobin, and I totally get why a fan would want to be so high on a super talented guy that's been super talented his whole life and has showed flashes. But for me, just like Ryan said, this isn't just a guy that we're talking about one injury popping up. No, this is an injury that, remember, he was supposed to be back for camp. Now he's not back for camp. Now we don't have a timeline on him still. And a guy that's been very injured in the past as well.
Yep. Also, I forgot to give my overreaction of the day, which was the false starts. I'm not saying like I'm going to paint a broad stroke overreaction. I'm just saying like I'm overreacting to that. I'm pissed off about it.
Not
Like it really annoyed me.
There
there
were a lot of
three?
false starts.
I think there was more.
Yikes.
I think 3 on the first team.
Yeah.
At what point does Hackett blow up? Either on the podium about it,
couldn't
in
believe-
front of the team about it, because that's got to piss him off at some point.
You mentioned us asking questions. My question to Nathaniel Hackett was, what's your rule on how close you're allowing guys to get to Russ? And he was like, stay away from the quarterback. That's the rule. Stay away. And I was like, okay, well, was that rule broken today?
Yeah.
And he was like, yes. And he mentioned, what are they calling those things?
Guardian caps.
Yes. He's like, that's the first time one of those Guardian caps has come through because I freaked out. Speaking of overreacting.
Yeah.
Russ's hand hit a helmet, that's how he got hurt last time.
Yeah.
And I was like staring at him for like 45 seconds after that just to see if he winced or held anything. He didn't. And that's what Hackett said. He's like, that's the first time one of those Guardian caps has come through because he hit the helmet, but it was all pads.
Yep.
Which, thank God.
Yep.
But I forget why I was talking about that.
I don't know.
Oh, I was expecting Nathaniel Hackett to freak out in that moment.
Right.
Stay the hell away from my quarterback.
Yep.
Right.
Which is like, come on, guys. There's the second time in the practice that someone ran into Russell Wilson. And I'm like, do you guys not get this? If he gets hurt, you might as well stop showing up to camp.
He's no Josh McDaniels.
I was going to say, do you like then Josh McDaniels' approach?
That wasn't the thing, though. It wasn't that he got too close. It was that he was like in the way, so Derek Carr couldn't complete the throw.
So it's just different circumstances that you
He was
can't
saying
compare?
like, get out of the way, because what the guy was trying to get, the point is you run past the quarterback and then he can roll out and make a throw and they get the rep. The guy was trying to get out of the way, and then Derek Carr went that way.
Yeah.
And Josh McDaniels lost his mind. And then, like, whatever, that's fine. But then he, like, for him yelling at him for, like, going like this, don't do this.
Yep.
I'm like, oh, he's still that same guy.
There's Josh. Yep. It's a good look for the Broncos, that's for sure. Next one coming in from Big Hank Stan. He says, good afternoon, you fuzzy man peaches, you. For some reason, I was pondering what it would be like to hold grudges, and I imagine being torqued about all the time I've wasted listening to all the chit-chat about the auspices offsprings of Aaron Rodgers prior to us singing that guy with the large pickup. Then I remember my first tender days of BSN fandom when you so graciously weaned me from my post-orange and blue 760 period of mourning. All that is to say, not only do I absolutely love the Green Bay quarterback in felicities, but I forgave you the moment you introduced me to such things as the cereal bowl with the straw and the is a straw a hole debate. I hope only to remain in your good graces as well. On that note, I'm the only one who is picking up some hardcore old Greg vibes from number 12. I'm starting to feel like it's as likely to find Rodgers flailing in an NFC championship game as it would be to find him living in a cave covered in seaweed and drinking Baileys from a shoe while asking adoring fans if they loved him. Anywho, Russ is a good old cat, but he's our Garfield now, and we don't have to wax poetic about some other team's bizarre creature. Long live BSN and the 3-hour pods from the Mousetrap Studio. Love, Hank Stan.
Love you, Hank Stan. Zach, I think you need to get your prescription checked on your glasses.
Oh, what did I miss?
So many things.
Oh, jeez.
Like, he said, all that is to say, not only do I absolve you of the Green Bay, you said, not only do I absolutely love you.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. That's why I was a little confused.
Yeah. And then he said, Russ is an odd cat. You said, Russ is a good old cat.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm seeing those now.
Oh, no. If we weaned him, does that make us wieners?
It would.
Yep.
It would.
Oh, my God.
I wonder if that's
All right.
that word.
From It's Stress. Boys, first time commenting, and I got to say, I have been having some extremely irritating conversations regarding our wide receiver group lately.
Ooh. It sounds like everybody has.
Yes. People are telling me to limit my expectations because they haven't really had a huge season as a group yet. My response has always been they haven't had an elite QB throwing them the ball. Am I correct in thinking that this group could be really special now that we have our guy at QB? Is my excitement warranted? Tell me I'm not the only one with big expectations for this position group and this offense. Also excited to see how Nick Benito looks once they get the pads on and he finally gets to really use his speed and bend off the edge. How much playing time do we anticipate at this time for the former Sooner? Knuckle up for safety. It's Stress.
It's a great question about Nick Benito, and I don't think we're going to get a true answer until Randy Gregory's on the field, or we know he's not going to be on the field for week 1. But he's going to be a really situational pass rusher for the team.
Every time I think about him, I just think that his career was ruined when he didn't get to choose a good number.
Oh,
Nick?
no.
Yeah, 42. It's pretty tough.
Just like imagine 42 having a 4-sack game. It's just never happened.
I just think of 42 being the long snapper last year.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's tough.
I'm half joking, but it is really hard for me to imagine.
I do wonder if
He's
we don't
sitting
see
on
much
something.
of him this year. If he's more of a developmental guy, just because he has all those traits.
Not going to have that luxury if Randy Gregory
True.
isn't playing.
Or Bradley Chubb or any of them.
Yep.
But, I mean, you've got so many options there.
Yeah,
Malik Reed,
I mean,
Baron
everyone's
Browning, DJ
talking about
Jones,
that
Draymond
first
Jones.
step, though.
Oh, yeah, it looked
And
incredible today.
It does.
There was one play where I thought it was a false start. Or not false start, but like he
Offside.
jumped off sides. It's like,
Yeah.
no, he's just bang.
And it
right
actually
on.
turned out it was a false start on that play. And I think it was because they're trying to get a head start on
Right.
trying to block him because his first step
Probably.
is so fast.
And that's why he's going to be a situational pass rusher. He's going to be one of the guys that when you know you're running the ball or you're passing the ball, he's probably going to be in there.
Yeah, I can imagine him being in there late in games, like rotating in, and then when they're just pinning their ears back, play after play after play.
I
But
hope
he's
so.
not going to be in there in obvious run situations or when you're playing the Titans or when you're playing a team that's well balanced in the third and fourth quarter.
Yep. And then he also said the wide receiver expectations. I got to admit, I was right with you before camp. Just like sky high expectations. Everyone should have close to 1,000 yards, if not more. And I just haven't seen it. So I'm coming back a little bit, but I do, the fact that Nathaniel Hackett keeps saying we're still in the install is important for me to keep in mind. Like, these guys are still learning the plays that they're running. And as they get them down and run them more and start essentially scrimmaging in practice, I think when I'll start worrying is if they go up against the Cowboys next week and it doesn't look good.
That's going to be telling.
If that happens, then I'm going to say, okay, well, we might have been too high on these guys.
Why I'm not worried yet is because someone's got to eat. Russell Wilson is going to be cooking, and someone's got to eat what he's putting out there. And it's not going to be the tight ends. They're not going to have two tight ends for 1,000 yards. So I still am very confident in this receiver group. However, I'm kind of getting to the point of, okay, which two is it going to be? Not all three. Like you said, Ryan, not all three of these guys are going to have 1,000 yards. Which two is it going to be? Because then we're going to see some Saubert. We're going to see some running backs involved.
Yeah,
I think we'll see 1,200, 1,000, and 800.
Oh, that'd be damn good.
That'd be really good. That'd be incredible.
I guess that's where I was before.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're coming down on that.
Yeah.
Big picture, though, over this kind of first week or so, I am getting the vibe more that this is a defensive football team that's going to have a good running game. And the passing game will obviously be better than
Sounds
the past, but I do think that's more the identity.
Sounds like the 2013 Seahawks.
Exactly. Yeah. I do think you're more in that mold than you are like the Peyton Manning Broncos mold as of today.
Just to be completely realistic, when has Russell Wilson had the greatest success? It's when he has not been the focal point of the team. Now, obviously, he's going to be a much bigger focal point of this team than he was with Seattle. But when Seattle, after they lost their second Super Bowl, they haven't made it past the divisional round in the playoffs since.
And that was true of John Elway, too. Like, really any good player. Like, if you take any great player and say, when was the team at its best? Well, when that really great player was actually kind of the second best thing about the team.
Well,
of course, they're going to be better.
And that's my biggest thing with the Chiefs right now is, man, they could be entering the Seahawks post 2014 phase for them, where they paid so much money to the quarterback, they weren't able to retain some of the best weapons, people got old, and they came back a little bit. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes has been so good to this point that we're not predicting that, because it's just like he's so good that you expect him to be able to do magic, make magic happen.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised though if they go down from where they are rather than back up to the peak that they've been to.
There's a consistent playoff team and not necessarily a
Right.
dominant force.
Potentially. Next one from Denver Rival says, hey guys, I was cracking up seeing your reaction to my last two comments. Didn't get with DNVR help fast enough to undo the character development RK was talking about, LOL. I'm also excited to announce Denver Rivals is working on a fundraising cornhole tournament
That
this
sounds
October
fun.
to
Wow.
raise funds and awareness for the Alzheimer's Association. Should be a lot of fun. My question today is, if you could only pick one of the three to make the Hall of Fame, Reeves, Mecklenburg, and Shanahan, for the Broncos finalists, which one would you choose? I may be biased growing up in the Shanahan era, but I hope he makes the Hall someday soon. I look forward to hearing your answer. Go Broncos and support DNVR Rivals.
Oh, we're talking about the actual Hall of Fame.
Yeah. I'd go Shanahan.
I'd
Mecklenburg is a close
I'd go
second.
Mac for sure.
Okay.
I just don't really care about coaches.
I would go Shanahan because he's the winningest coach in Broncos history.
Yep.
How much has he done for offense for the game?
Exactly.
And then also, 2 freaking Super Bowls.
I know. Like, I was the one freaking out about him not being in the Ring of Fame. But players give so much more than coaches. And
I don't know about that. Mike Shanahan changed the way offense works.
No, what I'm saying is like the actual sacrifices that they make with their bodies.
Yes.
Like Carl Mecklenburg has had to have like all these crazy neck surgeries and stuff. Like I want him to just be like given validation. Like not that it wasn't there with the adoration he gets from the fans and all that stuff. It's just like I just feel like it would mean more to him to be validated for putting his body in that position for so many years.
But however, on the other side, you're right. The physical beat up is terrible. Way worse for players. Mike Shanahan's in his office for 18 hours a day. Yeah. So, I mean, he's doing damage on his body that's physical, but in a different way.
Yeah, I get it. I just feel like the players deserve it more than the coaches.
Okay, and that's fair that you feel that way. Next one coming in from Mike Hawk. Says, hey guys, long time no comment. I'm extremely excited for this upcoming season. I'm not just ready to see Russ cook, but to see the whole team come together as a balanced, nutritional diet. Did I read that one right? Yes. Or did I mess that up? To keep the team healthy, everyone has to do their part. Russ only cooks 1 meal a day, but almost everyone needs breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Breakfast is the foundation of your day. True. I want to see Meinertz and the O-line cooking fat pancakes every morning. They say the game is won in the trenches, and it's the most important meal of the day. Our defense will be serving lunch, or rather, they'll be stealing everyone's lunch. Who's got time to make lunch anyways? Herbert and Mahomes will try to cook something up for Surtain to come steal it away. Of course, Russ has the main course, dinner. That's the meat and potatoes of this team. It's what sustains us and keeps us winning from week to week. But you can't forget dessert. Javonte will be delivering us dessert to opposing defenses every week. Just as any good dessert will do, he'll beat you in a food coma every time. Would you agree on this, or is there other position groups that you would rather see in the kitchen? Welcome to the team, Henry, and thank you for all continuing the great coverage for another year, Mike H.
Agreed with it. It's fantastic.
I love Mike.
That was really good.
Really great comment, Mike Hawk. From Mark IT Snatch. Hey guys, gotta brag for a sec. I finally got into the sales department at work, selling beer around town, so keep an eye out, D-dubs.
Congratulations, Mark IT.
Yeah. Congrats, that's huge.
I'd buy some beer.
As for football, this is, Mark IT Snatch the other day, first name basis with Steve Atwater.
That's right.
He's having a big week.
Wow.
As for football, beer. A way too early prediction. Who leads the team in yards from scrimmage this season?
So that is receiving and rushing.
Gosh. How much do I factor in 3 days of training camp? I've been thinking Sutton this whole time. And it just feels weird to say that right now.
I'm going Eric Saubert. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going JJ. And the first 3 days of training camp certainly help. Again, I think this is it for JJ in terms of becoming a superstar. Now, he doesn't have to be a superstar this year, but he needs to take a big step. And I think if he takes a big step, he's the Broncos' best receiver. Everybody
gotta pee.
Everybody gotta pee. I'm taking Javonte.
Oh,
I think because if your top receiver tops out at 1,200 yards, Javonte had 900 rushing yards last year, 316 receiving yards.
Oh, forgot about that.
Exactly, and that's why I think that. First of all, if I'm betting on any of these guys, these skill position players becoming a superstar, I'm leaning Javonte right now, just based on those first few days of camp. I think Javonte does it.
Javonte's, and this is something we haven't talked about yet. He has been the starter. Not one, not two, not three, but 4 straight days now. They also work Melvin into the rotation, but it is without a question Javonte Williams is going to be the team's starting running back come week 1. But there still is Melvin Gordon, and he's still going to be worked in, and they're going to use the passing game with the receivers a lot. And I think Melvin takes a lot of those reps away from Javonte, and I just think it's going to be too 50-50. But you do have a good point. I just think it's going to be even more 50-50.
Taking Court.
Wow.
Sticking with them.
He's going to need to put up a big number.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right on Javonte, though. I don't even know if Javonte leads the team in rushing yards.
Right. Yeah.
Melvin looks so good with those cutbacks.
He does.
Looks really natural to him.
But as Nathaniel Hackett said, Javonte is going to be in there first.
Dude, I don't think he said
No,
that.
we found the line. He's
What
gonna
is
be in there
it?
first.
Whether Javonte's there first?
No, that's the quotes they sent out.
But I think the question was, there's just no way that he has already named Javonte the starter. There's no way.
I think it's
even though it's very obvious.
It was practice.
I will say-
It was practice. For practice, Javonte's going to go in there first.
Stooks today said something about Barrington Wade that made me think he might make the team.
Did he really?
Yeah, he was talking about Montrell returning punts, and he was like, you can be in college, but all of a sudden, like, you get out there and Barrington Wade is running at you.
Oh, Barrington Wade,
Interesting.
scary boy.
Yeah. So keep an eye.
Dwayne Stooks tried to make me pee my pants today.
He did.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Also, I didn't get it. Why would that be a trick question?
I don't know. That's why I was like, I'm curious.
Zach just goes, "Is punter an open competition?" And he goes, "Is that a trick question?"
And then so I waited because I wanted him to just pick it up, and he didn't say anything. So I was like, yeah, I'm curious.
And Zach's like, "No, I just generally was curious your thoughts."
Yeah.
He does that. He has some funny responses to
Yeah.
questions because he
He
laughed
does.
at mine too.
Yes, he did. He did.
I asked him like, what defines success for returners? And he goes, "That's a good question." Well, and then he goes
Yeah,
and says
yeah.
like, "I want to score touchdowns.
Yeah.
I don't want to just give the ball back to Russ," which I was like, "You should just give the ball back to
Yeah,
Russ."
catch the ball. What you can't do on special teams is you can't take the ball out of Russ's hands.
Yep.
You cannot do that. And
Unless it's because you scored a touchdown.
right, that's the only time. And here's what this special teams needs to do. Catch the ball, make sure it gets to Russ, or for that one game, it's not even every year, every couple of years, that you need to win it because the offense is struggling, that's when you need to come up. And Trindon Holiday tried his damnedest to do that against Baltimore in the playoffs. 2 touchdowns when the offense couldn't fully get it going, and we all know how the game ended. But, I mean, those are the games that you need very occasionally.
Man, you just reminded me of a take I've really been wanting to unleash, but like we're so late in the podcast, I just don't know if I should do it.
Save it.
All right, I'm gonna save it.
Unless-
we do have one last super chat.
Okay.
All right. Do you guys think the Broncos win more games than the Eagles? They have an easy schedule, and my buddy wants to bet 50 on more wins. Let me know.
Make the bet.
That's from Evan Pillar.
Evan Pillar.
My pushback is you play the Giants
Yeah.
twice
Yeah.
a year. You play the Commanders twice a year. And who knows what the Cowboys are, but you could be able to split with them. The Broncos, on the other hand, have the complete opposite in the division. So I don't know what the rest of the Eagles' schedule is like, but if you said it's easy, that's what scares me. I think the Broncos are a better team.
Yeah. You do think back, and they finished the season well. Obviously, that game against the Broncos. But yeah, I
Just
think
take
there's
the
a
bet
gap.
because it's fun.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
$50 for a whole year.
Yeah.
$50 for a game, sure, I get that. That may be a
Yeah.
lot, but for a whole year, you boil it down, that's like $3 a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was actually tempted. DraftKings has like the lowest scoring team bet so for the whole season. The Eagles are like the top 10 favorites to score the most points. And so they have crazy odds to be the lowest. And I actually considered that for a minute.
Oh, they're in the top 10 for most
for
points.
most points. And so I was like, you flip that around,
Yeah.
you get incredible odds just because like the running backs aren't great.
Yeah.
Sure, the receivers are upgraded, but it's also Jalen Hurts, who I
AJ
like.
Brown
but
and Devontae Smith is kind of nasty.
except, what if the quarterback just sucks?
I think he's good.
I hope he's good.
Good
I
enough.
really like him, but I don't know. I
Good
thought
enough.
there was some sneaky
and
balance.
good
when I say
enough.
good enough to not be last.
I don't know. When you say good enough, I think you kind of mean the opposite. Because this offseason at one point, you said maybe your dark horse for MVP is Jalen Hurts.
I think that was last offseason.
Well, Jalen Hurts wasn't even the starter then, was he?
That would have been a dark horse then.
It would have been too much in
Who
the
was the
dark.
starter?
Who was on their team?
Carson Wentz, and then he was gone.
You're right. So Jalen was the starter. I think I thought it was this year because
Maybe.
you like the jump that he had taken.
I do think he has like the potential to just blow everyone away by just getting over the hump at one point. I also think Kyler Murray, like hopefully, like I'm trying to trade for Kyler Murray in my dynasty league because I'm like I think his
trade him
stock is
away?
low. No, I think his stock is low right now because of the whole homework clause. And I think he's just like one little thing clicking away from getting over the hump, being a top 5 quarterback.
That one thing clicking is just putting in all the work.
4 hours of study hall.
4 hours. If Lamar was outside like the top 7 in odds, I might be tempted.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
I like that.
I could see that happening
For odds and what?
for MVP.
Oh, yeah, for sure. All right. I think that wraps it up for us. I'll save my take that involves that Ravens game.
Unless you want to put it out there. I don't know if you're wanting to, if you're
No,
not
because it's going to spark this
to.
whole debate with Henry. We just don't.
No, let's
Don't worry,
the
we'll have it
debate.
right off the air.
I already told you, so we'll bring it up another time. But for today, that wraps it up for us on a Saturday edition of the DNVR Broncos podcast. If they practice, we pod. That's how it goes in training camp. But that means we're not on tomorrow.
Yep.
We'll be on with you Monday when the Broncos are back on the field. Thanks for riding with us. Everyone have a great rest of your weekend.